Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about the causes, cause, and results of First World War. So, first, the cause was European alliances and counter alliances. Students, first of all, you must know what is the meaning of alliance. Alliance means it's an agreement between countries to work together and support each other. European great powers were divided into two armed camps. So the one side, if you see, means Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, and they were under the guidance of Bismarck, and they formed Triple Alliance in 1882. The other side, you see, France and Russia. They had alliance in 1894, and they formed it. And the next one, with the growth of nationalism, the attitude of the people was, how it was, the attitude was, my country right. So they thought it's my right to tell that my country is really good. Even if whether it was right or wrong, they supported it. And the love for one country demanded hatred for another country. So we can see three divisions over there. So these countries really they got divided, and there was no unity among them. So here you see England they formed Jingoism, and France Chauvinism, and Germany Kultur. These were the three militant forms of nationalism. So militant forms. So they were ready to fight. And you also find the same time the German emperor. He was very aggressive in attitude. So his name was Emperor Kaiser Wilhelm II. So he proclaimed Germany that Germany would be the leader of the world, and the navy was expanded. So he had too much of naval power, and he spent a lot of money over there, and so many warships, submarine, and many more. Therefore, Britain embarked on a naval race, which heightened the tension between the two powers, Britain and Germany. So here you can see the hostility of France towards Germany. So France and Germany were old rivals. Bitter memories of defeat in 1871 and loss of Alsace and Lorraine to Germany. So this also rankled in the minds of the French. So what Kaiser William II did was he intentionally recognized the independence of the Sultan and demanded an international conference to decide on the future of Morocco. And then during that time only they had even the Balkan Wars. So Turkey was a powerful country in the southwest of Europe. So during that time, the Ottoman Turks, they extended over the Balkans and across Hungary to Poland. Actually, it continued more than so many different small regions were there. Everyone they were not united, and here actually it contained many non-Turkish people in the Balkans. So they were not in good terms with each other. So we find two types of Balkan wars here. So there were rivalry among Greece, Serbia, Bulgaria, and later Montenegro for the control of it. So in March 1912, they formed the Balkan League. So the league attacked and defeated Turkish forces in the First Balkan War, and which was in 1912 to 13. So the same time you find the Second Balkan War, in which Bulgaria attacked Serbia and Greece, but Bulgaria was easily defeated. So the Second Balkan War ended with the signing of the treaty Bucharest in August 1913. Then there was the immediate cause, the most important cause, the immediate cause. On 28 June 1914, Archduke Frank Ferdinand, nephew and heir to Frank Joseph, Emperor of Austria-Hungary, was assassinated by Princip, a Bosnian Serb. Actually, Germany had no quarrel with France, but because of the Franco-Russian alliance, the German army, which was planning a war against both France and Russia, wanted to use the occasion to its own advantage. So so now students, the immediate cause we have seen. Now we move on to the cause of the war. What are the things happened? So here you find two warring camps. So it has been divided into two parts again. In one you find Germany, Austria, Hungary, Turkey and Bulgaria. The other side, Russia, France, Britain, Italy, the United States, Belgium, Serbia, Romania and Greece. So during this time you find mostly all the countries were fighting among themselves. They were ready to do any such thing. So here Tsar Nicholas II of Russia, he gave stress on universal peace. So something very unique. So when all the countries were ready to fight among themselves, so from Russia you get a good news there. He wanted to have peace, but it was in vain. It didn't really go up well. Though he had some conferences, two different conferences he held, but still, so nothing could be done over there. So anyhow, we had a war over there in 1908 up to 18. We had the First World War. So in the battle in between, we had even the Battle of Tannenberg. Russia suffered heavy losses, they say, and one more battle, the Battle of Marne, which took place during the early September 1914. The French succeeded in pushing back the Germans. It was a trench warfare. So you can see trench warfare means you find they dig some ditches over there and they hide themselves inside of it and they attack the enemies. So next we'll move on to Battle of Verdun. So it took place between February and July 1916. The German attacked Verdun, the famous fortress in the French line. 2 million people took part and half of them were killed. So in the eastern front, Russian troops repeatedly defeated the Austrians, but the Russians were in turn defeated by the German. So then next, if you move on to in the Middle East, in Mesopotamia and Gallipoli, ultimately Turkey was defeated. So in the Far East, China also, even that too, joined the Allies, but there was no war. Romania watched the course of the war and in August 1916 joined the Allies. Then about the Central Powers, it has been said they were very successfully, they occupied Belgium and a part of France. As the Allies controlled the sea routes, they cut off the supply of food and other materials reaching the Central Pass. So somehow it was a great confusion over there. So naval battles, and here Battle of Jutland took place in the North Sea in 1916. So here you find America's entry with its enormous resources made Allied victory. So it was a foregone conclusion. Then you can also see during this time the German submarines were extremely effective. During March and April 1917, about 600 merchant ships were sunk. So all these took place during that time. So many ships, too much of loss for all those countries, whoever participated, and too many people, they died. So you also find the population in which you find number of men were very less. So most of them died in war. So let's see provisions of the treaty. So here, before that, we'll see the Treaty of Versailles. Germany surrendered in November 1918. Peace conference was held in Paris. A peace treaty was also signed on 28 June 1919 in the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles. Next, we will see the provisions of the treaty. Germany was found guilty of starting the war. The Reparation Commission set up for deciding the compensation. So they decided on 6,600 million pounds to be paid in installments. And then the German army was also to be limited to 1 lakh men. Then the union of Austria and Germany was forbidden. Germany was forced to give up all the rights and titles over her overseas. So, and many more we find. Then, fallout of the First World War. What happened in that? At least 8 million had died in 4 years. The outcome in all countries, you find there was imbalance, shortage of men. So soldiers came to be placed above civilians. And Turkey, what happened to Turkey? We'll see. Turkey's rebirth as a nation, thanks to the role played by Mustafa Kemal Pasha. So what he did, he modernized Turkey. India, really, we can see the impact on India, what happened and what are the things we have contributed. India actually contributed 230 million pound in cash and over 125 million pound in loan towards war expenses. So India also sent war materials to the value 250 million pound. So this caused enormous economic distress. And also we find the war conditions led to the rise of home rule movement in India. India and Indians had taken an active part in the war, believing that Britain would reward India's loyalty, but only disappointment was in store. So really, students, so this war came to an end. So by this, today's lesson comes to an end. So the next class we'll see the Russian Revolution and its impact, and also the League of Nations. Thank you. And students, one more thing I just want to tell. I have attached a PDF over there for the assignment. So please go through that and learn and write. So please just don't copy down that. You must learn well and then close that. Shouldn't copy. And you learn and write it. Send a photocopy to me and I just see. Thank you.